what's going on. So music concerts in the summertime were always like if you could score some tickets or it was like a highlight. It almost seemed like, dare I say, things were geared towards you back in the day for a major act, a major concert. It seemed to be the case. It was something about seeing somebody in the summertime that, that was the thing to do. But in some cases, it always seemed like the main events were like back to school when it was autumn or it was cold. But there was always something about if you could go to a concert in the summer that it was happening. You never knew what musicians the clock was like. You never knew what was a ticket master or some mess like that. But big concerts happening in the summertime and you could get out. Now, actually, the best concerts were them lawn shows, where people took their lawn chairs and they cooked out and you was in a park or something. Those were the shows, you know. Those were the shows. If you could get tickets to one of them shows, because you might have like 10 acts and the money was not crazy like it is now to go see something. But I think that was at Budweiser Superfest. Some of those shows when they have like performances in the park and that was where the money was. That was where it was worth going and seeing. You go see an act that was putting it down. That's what was up. That was the business right there. Seeing somebody perform, and you bring your family, you do your whole nine. Yeah, it's like concerts. Um, they just hit a certain way when but there was some about summertime concerts. You got your shirt, you was just all into it, you know because that was an added on bonus if you want to go to a show, and then you got fed and you did all that just made it just you know I remember it very well. I'm trying to think who did I forgot what show I went to, but it was in the summertime and it was tight. But it's the thing, if you can go to a good summertime show. Now, is it better to go to the summertime show or is it better in the autumn or in the winter to go see somebody perform? Believe it or not, I would probably say you get more hyped back when it was in the autumn. But there is something about being said if you can go see a strong live performance outside, or if it was because it seemed to be more normal before. I think before MTV and all that took over. I want to say that's was something that made it hit differently before it became so videofied, because it seemed to be more of that sort of thing that you'd want to go see it when it was if you could catch the summertime of it. But yeah, it's a great question because you should get your concert tickets, you get your t-shirt, you get your food, and you had everything all mapped and planned and where you're going to be seated and all that. And like the radio stations tell you to come and be calling nine. You could win the ticket. All that. Summer jams, all that. And it was always who was the best act. All those things that you look forward to seeing and hearing about. That was like normalized with that. So summertime music concerts, having flashbacks, having thoughts. Where were you? Who stole the show? Those sort of things. And the tickets were cool. You got a good deal. That was a whole different time period, but it was something that, you were like, okay, I remember like very much like yesterday. But let me know your thoughts and your takes. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.